I don't know exactly what a JoJo Siwa is. As best I can tell, she's a 21-year-old girl who used to be some kind of reality TV star as a child and has now become, or is trying to become, desperately a pop star. A few months ago, she debuted a new pop song called Karma, which she often performs wearing this outfit and doing these dance moves. Watch. As you can see, she's dressed like a villain from Power Rangers and doing dance moves that look something like a drunk, uncoordinated bridesmaid at a wedding. And this is what JoJo hopes you will consider edgy. She seems to want very badly to be seen as edgy and innovative. In a recent interview, she went so far as to declare that she had even invented a new genre of music. Watch.
The genre is, I said it back in the day when I first signed with Columbia, I said I wanted to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called gay pop. And they were like, what's that? And I was like, it's like K-pop, right? But it's gay pop.
Yes, the revolutionary new style of music is gay pop. She's the first person to ever combine gayness with pop music. Prior to this moment in time, pop music has been renowned for its heterosexuality. I can remember growing up in the 90s when a kid, a boy caught listening to NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys might be mocked by his classmates. You listen to boy bands, you must be straight, you damned hetero. This is at least what JoJo Siwa apparently imagines. That's why she's so proud of being the first gay person to ever produce a pop song, which is a bit like an NBA player in the year 2024 claiming to have invented a new concept called black basketball. It's like regular basketball that we all know and love, except this time, get this, black guys are playing it. Now, the claim may not make any sense, but JoJo isn't worried about making sense. She just wants you to notice her.
When I was 8 is when Miley had her bangers moment. And I was like, all I want is to have that one day. Like, I want that. And honestly, since I was like 15, like my whole inner circle has been talking about it and getting excited for it.
I am shook about your look. Tell me about
really strange tan lines. It was really strange. I mean, what do you want to know about it? This is my Karma. It's a costume from the official music video. Honestly, I just wanted to wear it again. I love it so much.
No one has made this dramatic of a change yet. No one has made, in my generation, this extreme of a switch. And I am the first in the generation. It is very scary, but someone's got to do it.
Biggest thing about this video, I don't care if people like it. I don't care if people hate it, but I want people to turn their head at it, and I want people to notice it. Because I'm the real lesbian, I'm the real lesbian, will the other real lesbian please stand on up? Makes Slim Shady, but the real lesbian. Yeah.
I don't care if you like it or hate it, I just want you to notice it. We got to give her credit for honesty, I suppose. There are a lot of attention seekers in the entertainment industry. She's not the only one. It's just that most of them won't come out and actually say that all they care about is getting attention. So the forthrightness here is something to appreciate, maybe even mildly respect. Unfortunately, there's nothing else to respect about this person, especially when you consider this story. Here's People magazine. Quote, JoJo Siwa is sharing new details about her surrogacy plans. In a video interview for Cosmopolitan's If It Were Me series, the Karma singer, 21, shared that she had specific hopes for how and when she would welcome her hypothetical future children. Quote, because I'm gay as and I have to plan a pregnancy much different than a straight person, I actually want to take 3 eggs, fertilize 3 eggs, and have 3 surrogates, she said. Quote, so technically they'll all be the same batch, but they would all be born separately. I'm going to have my surrogates, my babies, then maybe their birthdays will land on different days, and they can be like triplets, but not. So she's gay as she says. That's the term she applies to herself. It's how she self-identifies, and I will certainly respect her self-identification. Would never dream of doing anything otherwise. She says that her gay status has led her to the conclusion that she should have 3 babies at the same time from the same batch, in her words, but by 3 different surrogates. Now, granted, she's speaking hypothetically about children who don't yet exist. She also has no idea what she's asking for. If you wind up with triplets naturally, then of course you embrace them and you love them as a gift from God, but no sane person actually sets out to have triplets. I've had twins twice, and even I look uncomprehendingly at parents with triplets. I can't imagine what taking care of 3 newborns at once must be like. It's the kind of challenge that you let God decide to give to you if he does. You put it in the hands of providence. You don't go seeking it out deliberately. So this is obviously an emotionally stunted young woman whose brain is warped from having been a child star. From what very little I know about her, she seems essentially incapable of expressing any kind of authentic human thought. Everything is a desperate attempt to shock and provoke. And this stuff about recruiting 3 surrogates at the same time is probably no different. Yet still, the language she's using reveals something about the surrogacy industry. She wants to cook up a batch of babies, she says, like they're baked goods and not human beings. She's not a married woman humbly embracing the procreative facet of the marital union. She is rather an unmarried, self-described gay woman hoping to fulfill some very specific, weird motherhood fantasy by engineering exactly the results that she desires. And all of the problems with surrogacy are in evidence here. First, most obviously, it is dehumanizing. There's a reason why the people who use surrogates can't help but talk about it in dehumanizing, bizarrely objectifying ways. The surrogate mother carrying the baby and the baby that is being carried are both products to them. They are objects to be obtained and controlled. This is human life as commodity. As I've said many times before, commercial surrogacy is the most direct and explicit form of human commodification since slavery. And that's why it should be banned. And anyone who uses surrogates should be treated with the same scorn as human traffickers, because that's what this is. But perhaps even worse, beyond the dehumanizing aspect of the whole thing, surrogacy makes parenthood self-serving. It turns the focus back on the parent, or the quote-unquote parent. Parenthood, when done the natural way and approached with the right mindset and with your heart in the right place, is a humbling thing. I'll never forget the moment when we found out about our second set of twins. If you've been watching the show for a while, you're familiar with the basic story, but we already had 4 kids. We already had twins in the past. We didn't set out to have another set of twins. In fact, when I found out that we were going to go from 4 kids to 6, I was fairly terrified at the prospect, I will admit. Even more so having been there before. You know, we knew what having newborn twins was like. The sleeplessness, the constant crying, the feeling of being totally overwhelmed all the time. We knew what was coming. You know, we did not have the benefit of blissful ignorance. And now we knew we'd be doing it with 4 other kids to also take care of on top of that. This is not what we tried to engineer for ourselves. It isn't what we planned. It's what God had planned for us. It was our job to humble ourselves. And parenting, you know, the process of parenting involves many opportunities to humble yourself and accept God's plan for our lives, even if it was very different from what we thought our plans were going to be. And now we have 2 more beautiful kids, and we can't imagine life without them. It worked out because we trusted his design for our lives rather than our own design. But the surrogacy designer baby approach inverts all of that, turns it upside down. It puts all the focus on your designs, on your plans for what you want. Completely inverted. Your priorities are your number one priority is yourself, and that's completely upside down. The baby, or babies in this case, are mere fashion accessories. You're going into it with entirely the wrong spirit, which pretty much guarantees that you will be miserable when the actual realities of parenting every day set in, which also guarantees that your children will be miserable. If your desires are the focal point at the beginning, it's likely that you will try to keep them there as you go on as a parent. And the more you try as a parent to keep yourself at the center and keep your own desires and what you want to do and your preferences, the more you try to keep that at the center of everything, at the center of your family, the more you will hate parenting and your children by extension and yourself. This is the kind of failure that surrogacy sets you up for. It's the failure of arrogance is what it is. There is no humility in it, which is an aspect of surrogacy that I think is not talked about enough. And that is just one of the many reasons why surrogacy is a great evil. And it's why that is surrogacy, and JoJo Siwa are both today canceled. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.